Thanks for staying with us. So, as you know, the popular saying, they say power is not served a la carte, that we have to grab it. So, it's exactly 641 days to the 2023 general elections. And with one of the largest populations of young people in the world, we're not sure exactly what's going to happen in these elections. But we have with us, join us on this show, to discuss issues of public affairs. He's a public affairs analyst, Mr. Segun Sowunmi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Totally my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. So you can call us on 081-270-53687. You can also call us on 091-390-7694. You can tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your VTVC so we can read your tweet. Okay, so Nigerians, we are all concerned about 2023. We're seeing all sorts of posters. People are coming. In fact, the vice president was saying that this, he totally spoke against the recent online campaign for his presidential aspiration. He said he has nothing to do with that. So the point is, people are talking 2023. Young people are speaking. Young people spoke loud and clear during NSAS, and we're thinking to ourselves, are we ready? And there's this issue of insecurity. There's division in the land. We're not sure where we are headed. In your view as a political analyst, what would you think should be the approach as we go towards 2023, as towards leadership, especially the way party politics is still playing right now? What is the right approach towards 2023?
Maybe for young people or for everybody generally?
For young people. Let's start with young people.
Well, I think that, first let me say, you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
People have a lot of good reviews, and they think that this show is awesome. And
thank you.
Well done, guys. For us to understand what young people need to do, we must first ask the big question: where are we now in the country? There's always a tendency for people to think that the people that are now, maybe advanced in age, maybe they came in as old men. No, they didn't. There's the 1960, 63, 66 class, which made up of the generals, the Buharis, the Obasanjos, and all of that. They're there, but they came in young. There's the 1992 class, the Juntabas, the Atikus, the Bola Tinubus, and all that. They weren't that old, but they're still there. And even now, there are quite a few young people all over. You see Yaya Bello of Kogi. You see a few of them that are been given responsibility at state levels and all of that. So if we must now say we want to have young people run the country, if that's your objective, then we have to ask ourselves, do we have a party that solely belongs to young people? Now, if we don't have a party that solely belongs to young people, between now and 2023, do we have enough time to create a fairly young party where the chairman is young, everybody is young, and we're all going in there young or nothing? Do we have enough time? If we're to look at the democratic journey from 1990 to date, that's taken us a lot of energy to create fairly two balanced parties, maybe the APC and the PDP. So it means that for us to look at the young person in the presidency, we must look at how we're going to work within the structures that exist. Because in 2019, a few young people threw themselves into the ring, but they threw themselves in the ring in a manner that it was dead on arrival.
Yeah.
You don't have young people on the field. They have three parties. Dortoye is going on one all by himself. Chowore is going on one all by himself. My friend Mongalu is on one by himself. Everybody was going one by themselves. It would then suggest that we have not learned that leadership ought to be a collegiate, especially when you want to seize power from a hegemony that is well-rooted. Now, what must we do? First things first, we must look at those who say they want to be president, that are young, that have said clearly, the past is the past. Where are we now? From what I see, the only young person that one could say, okay, he's talking about wanting to be president, and the same people are asking to go be president, is Yaya Bello of Kogi State. Now, we could discountenance him if we like, at our own discomfort as young people. But we could also ask ourselves, if he has been governor for 2 terms, that means he must necessarily have the ability to form government.
Yeah.
Because one of the things is that once you become the president, you win an election now, you're going to be saddled with forming government. Yeah. And there are some intricate work in balancing things. So, okay, maybe we'll give him a pass mark. Okay, maybe he can form government. The next thing you say is that, okay, he's in a big party. After all, he's the chairman of their revalidation for APC. So you say, okay, maybe young people in APC, if they are that interested, may begin to pay more attention to him. But that's about where it ends. You can't be president in Nigeria on a frolic. The issues before us now are very serious. I'll say that we are even supposedly at a ground zero. We've never had a country this divided. If you have southern governors suddenly all coming together, sitting down in one place and taking very far-reaching decisions without waiting for their northern brothers to come on, that tells us that the cleavage is there. You can't have all of these ethnic jingoists who are now throwing all sorts of, non-state actors who are now beginning to bully the system.
Yeah.
You have the Yoruba man, you have the Igbo man. So you know that we have issues on our hand. And then there's security issues. And on the security one, I always tell myself, hey, if a tested general who defeated Metasini, who worked very hard and pushed the border, in fact, pushed it to almost taking over in Jamina, has held command and has been head of state, is sitting on top of the Nigerian country. Forget about politics now. If he is struggling on the matter, would we be fair to our collective in thinking that the job is easy?
So I've been holding a lot of questions.
No, you have been firing them,
Because this is your last one.
Yeah.
You said in command.
Yeah.
Now, the average Nigerian questions the command.
What do you mean?
Because they feel if he's in command, there would have been a lot
No,
more work.
I'm not talking about in command now.
Before.
I'm talking about, it's like I'm asking you to come and help me set up a new talk show on a new TV station. And you go there and people see you struggle. And they suddenly assume that you don't know what you're doing. So you have to understand that people come with some experience. Yeah. So if, because we're talking
You didn't get my question, sir.
I'm trying to get it because we're talking about young people.
People question that maybe he's not in command. That if he was in command,
yes,
maybe things would be better.
I hear you loudly, but I'm trying to say that before we even get to the nuances of now, let us first of all work on what kind of experience a young person need to manage where we are.
All right, let's move a bit. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm not even thinking it is young person or old person. I'm not in that. I mean, the mindset of Nigerians.
That's right.
The mindset of almost every Nigerian, not everybody, but a lot of us is when I get to power,
I will chop.
What I'm going to chop, how I'm going to enrich myself. How are we going to change that mindset?
No, I think
so that we stop thinking government is about personal enrichment.
Okay.
How are we going to start thinking that government is about legacy?
Right.
If I leave a good legacy, my name will reign forever.
Fantastic question you've asked. You see, I'll tell you this. In the build-up to 2015, I'm as PDP as really can be. Now, in the build-up to 2015, we were going to clearly lose to the APC. And it was President Buhari, or General as it was called then, that was going to lead the onslaught. One of the things that I took for granted, even though I didn't join their campaign, I wasn't part of their whatever, one of the things I thought that even if he cannot do anything else, I thought he would be able to do at least two things.
Which is?
The first is that I thought that he was going to be able to do a massive reorientation program that brings us back to where we used to be. Given that that was one of the things he drove when he was there before. So I thought, okay, with Lai Mohammed and all of these people, a massive reorientation, attitudinal change, and all of that would be their agenda. They didn't do that much. The second thing I thought he was really going to do, which really put a dagger in my heart because he didn't do, was that I thought that he would have been so methodical about his anti-corruption drive in such a way that he's going to use a very fine comb and very deliberate punishment. Not so much because we want to, hate the people that are being punished, but because we want to send a signal that there will be a day of reckoning. Unfortunately, again, on that score, I don't know what has happened to him and who our handlers are. You can tell that we're just joking. So it means that before we will get to the point where anti-corruption and all of those corrupt enrichment get into office and become very rich will go away, we're still desperately in need of one reset mode that we'll have to punish those that we can tell stole our money.
Let me throw one final question.
Yeah, so
final question. Are we done?
No. We're here to 11. Don't worry. Relax.
So personally, I think that young people are really not ready. I think that's my personal opinion.
I hear you.
Yes, and I stand by it. Because I see that most of the people that we have that want to be in the corridors of power are aiming so high without any form of track record. So, and they are not even good followers. I think we need to get to a place where we learn how to follow, where we learn how to serve first before we now want to get to the corridors of power. So I would like you to tell us what you think we can do. For those people who are looking, you don't just wake up and start from being a president now. What happened to your local government? What happened to the other? You know, we need to learn to follow the process and build. So what do you have to say in that regard?
Yeah, that was why I started out by showing them Yaya Bello. Because I thought it's 45. He's done 8, maybe 5 years, 6 years, removed that. So that means he got in there around 39. And luckily, by default, somehow he found himself as a governor. And he was also. So I was trying to show that you can't wobble and rush these things. The country is fairly big. The tribal divisions and ethnic and religion, all of the things that are the underpinnings of who we are as a people are very deep. Therefore, you need to be able to work within a structured system. And I gave the other alternative that, look, if we so desire, if we have the numbers, so they say, if we so desire that, okay, look, enough of this, then we need to bring ourselves to a position where we can sidestep the leaders of the big parties by creating our own. No one is stopping us from creating our own. But if every time we have an opportunity of creating our own, our interest will always be, I have to be chairman and I have to be president, and therefore you guys have to go and start your own party and be presidential candidate. Come on, man. We're not going to, we're not going to cut it. But I agree to the extent that there is no explaining of that whatever good the other ones have done in this country in government, we can thank them for it and tell them, hearing you reach and no further. Because we cannot be agitating perpetually over their watch, and it is clear to us that we're barely surviving and finding out how to exist within the status quo. We're not reinventing anything. We're not bringing any big or bold idea to the table. Therefore, I'll say it's always young people's time every time. All that requires is for us to collaborate and think properly and understand, like I said, leadership, if we must take power, has to be a collegiate.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have the political analyst in the studio, Mr. Sowunmi, with us. I want to go to the issue of politics and money. Because young people, you see, the reason we're having this conversation is that we see what's happening. And we're almost helpless. We have two major parties. People are saying, oh, XYZ is running, that was running, there's so many things going on. And young people are just looking in the fence saying, how do I participate? So you've said it earlier. It's either we join the existing parties or form a new one, which might be difficult because of the time that we have in right now. But the issue of money, how money plays a huge role in the electoral process. People don't have that kind of money. They don't have godfathers. They don't have anybody to give us that kind of money.
Well, I think let's first of all accept that Nigerians as a collective and as a whole, we love money. Nigerians, the people will tell you that when you do the survey, Nigerians can tolerate every other thing except when you touch their personal money. So it means that that's who we are. We like money. Now, why then does money play such a big role in the political process? I believe that one of the reasons why money plays a big role in the political process is because we have also accepted, maybe in error, the narrative that these people will win and do absolutely nothing for us, that the only time we're going to ever even have access to them is when they need us, and therefore maybe we just take whatever we can take and be gone. For us to adjust that, we'll first of all have to tell ourselves that what is the total value that we want to place on 4 years? Because the decision you're taking on one day the total value is 4 years. We're going to have another opportunity until another
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
So when we look at it that way, and then we'll say, okay, if Obama, being black and all of that, can, the systems, every system is every system, they're tough, can come in there, come up with such a big, bold idea that can rally people until it can win one of the most difficult seats to win in the world. Because how long ago did black people even start having? So it means that if there is a will, there will be a way. I think that, yes, we need some money, even to buy clothes. All of us are looking so gaily dressed. It costs money. And if you're going to call people to a meeting, you need to have some money. But the role we allow money to play is the role we allow them to enslave us. It's almost similar to how white people came in here, met the African chiefs and all that, gave them a mirror and a small whiskey, and they just scattered the way. What I'm trying to say, the similitude I know, yeah, I know, but the similitude I'm trying to play here is that there is no way I can buy you unless you let me. If you're not up for sale, I can't buy you. There may be someone that looks like you that may be up for sale that I can buy, but how much am I going to pay for you to allow me to have you? So in that case, if we're looking for how to get young people to be in charge of the country, since they're the ones complaining the most, we must do what is practical.
It must not be buyable.
We must do what is practical. The practical thing is that, okay, take for instance, let's look at the two parties. If tomorrow young people just decided that, look, enough of all this talking, let's just go and register in these parties. So that when they come and do party primaries, they'll meet us in the ward. What are they going to do?
What the foundation?
No. If you get, listen, I play in this field.
Yes.
If you go to your ward tomorrow and you say, oh, I am this, tell them your dad's name and all of that, they know you're on television, and you say, I want to join the ward, I can guarantee you before you go for 2 meetings, they will start calling you leader. The system is not that hostile. What happens is that those of you who have responsibility to advocate, to educate, to sensitize your fellow cousins, citizens, brothers, sisters, and all that, you have left it to crooked politicians.
Because we are our own government. The average Nigerian is their own government. I am generating my power, generating. So the Nigerian, we're not seeing the government's impact. And so we're a bit selfish with my time, my family, my hustle. But here's where I'm going to. The foundation is that the system has impoverished millions of people. The average Nigerian is uneducated, poor. So they are buyable.
You see,
the system has put so much poverty on ground with lack of proper education and political awareness that these people, it is easy to buy them off. The few of us that we feel we have education, we have human rights, that want to get into power, we are outnumbered by the majority of the population. So how do we begin to re-educate these people that did not have opportunities?
Okay, fantastic. Now, think about it this way. In 1958, 50, whatever, them Awolowo were going to do that free education. It was just a handful of them that were educated. How were they able to convince the mass of people who were not even lettered, who had not even seen a television system to follow? Here we are today. We are pushing the narrative of our enemies, the neoliberal members of the international community, who try to tell us that in spite of no evidence to support their claim that this is a hopeless case, it's not. There's a research work that was done called Factfulness. If you go check that research work, it will tell you that they put a group of professors together in a study and asked them questions around Africa. How educated are they? What is this? All of those questions that we also help them to push. All of them were wrong. Why? Because we may not be where we need to be. We have made some incremental progress. There's none of your families that can say truthfully, none of mine, none of any of our families that can say truthfully that we don't have one person in our family that is educated enough that we can look up to or that can sensitize us. We are not going to expect the uneducated to motivate and inspire everybody. It is the duty. It is the duty of those of us that are fairly conscious to speak to them. We don't need to try to speak to them in large gatherings. Let's start with our own families. The people that go ahead and just allow themselves to be taken for granted, Who are they? They are our cousins, they are our brothers, they are our sisters. And we have not been able to let them see the point that everybody is the loser this week.
I agree with him.
So what I'm hearing you say is that all of us here that are fairly lettered, gone to school, you have at least secondary school.
You have some exposure.
You can talk to your family, influence them to join a party.
Absolutely.
Participate.
Absolutely.
So that we can all have that number properly, right?
Yes.
Let me come to you.
Yeah, so I want to really agree with him because I know that when you have people who are... No, when I finish my agreement. So I know that when you have people who are, fairly educated in your family and you have a family meeting, so to speak, they always want to hear, what does this person have to say? Because they trust that because you've gone to school, you have good ideas on how to move the family forward. And the problem is some of us who are in that, we are not interested in politics. We are not interested in governance. Everybody's minding their family business, minding their family wealth, minding how they want to grow individually. So there's no collective, okay, Top Bear, YK, Moraya, you enter here, you enter there. Let's see what we can do. Trust me, if we try it, people will follow us already. But I have a fear because I think we are two different, we have two types of young people in the country. And when we hear they are buying young people, they are buying young people, they are buying the illiterate, uneducated, the foot soldiers that are always available in the world. They are the ones that go for the elections and everything. So they can be bought. They may not be able to buy us. So how do you think we can reach those young people who are not educated and talk to them to understand that if you want a true change, you don't need to be bought? How do we do it?
Okay, so that we don't just make it about the botting and the buying. Let me just say, let me put it this way. One of the areas where we have collectively failed, at least most of us, some of us more than others, is that we did not bother to take on the responsibility of interrogating those who present themselves on behalf of the whole. Listen, the heart of man is desperately wicked. Yeah, so we will never know. But we are not even interrogating them enough. If we took on that, if we're not interested in dirtying our hands, and we don't want to go to the wards, we can at least take on the responsibility of interrogating the people that want to lead on the issues that they're talking about. We can't be satisfied with someone saying, I'm going to build 7th mainland bridge without asking him the how, without asking him the money. And don't forget,
Mr. Sowunmi, I know politicians who have interrogated and been relegated to the background.
Don't worry, I'm not talking about politicians now. People like me suffer a little bit because we're quite vocal and we're very principled. It doesn't matter. It's the cost we're going to have to bear. But I'm talking about all of us now as a collective. I can't expect that anybody can say you can't interrogate, you can't interrogate, all of our colleagues can interrogate. And now, luckily, we have like an unfettered access on social media where information can go very well. But even at that, as crazy as that process looks, there's still some problem there. People will listen to detailed analysis on what this man is talking about. So if anybody wants to be governor or wants to be president, wants to be anything at all, why are we leaving it for them? If good people don't get involved, fools will make laws and the good people will have to obey.
Let me take
when you are good, they just say,
Good morning.
Go ahead, Jacob, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Mariah, and everybody in the studio. Dr. Segun Sowunmi, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Although I'm not your fans, to be sincere, because I always follow you everywhere you go. Although this morning you have spoke a lot, and then you spoke what I really liked here. But Mariah, do you know what? We are talking about youth here. That's not how youth can get there now. Ask me why. The only thing we can do is that we can be able to join the two leading parties. If we say I want to form our party, and then we push one person to lead us, the person is not going to get it. Why? Why? Because Nigerian politics is, right now, it's all about money. Let me tell you this. If you are a leader in your locality, and then want to become just ordinary chairman of a local government, you need some people they call mobilizer, you need canvasser, and all those people that I mentioned, they would ask you where is the money, because they are going to spend the money in the midnight. Morayo, this politics in Nigeria is all about money as it is now. But if any youth get to the presidency, Hello, are you listening to me?
Yes, we are.
The way our constitution is today, Morayo, let's tell ourselves the truth. The person is about to fail. Why? Why? Because now today, we are talking about security in this country today. A station whereby you call a governor a chief security of a state, and then he cannot give him direction to the commissioner of police in the state.
Yakub, I hear you, and I want us to be very clear on what we're discussing here. So what we do today is that if you want to get into politics, you go into that system, and then you blend into how they do it, you get canvassers and everything. What I'm hearing Mr. Sowunmi say, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result.
At all.
What we're asking that everybody who is fairly lettered, talk to those around you. Omnika, go and get go and register. So, number one. When you all register, I'm almost the working. When you are all registered and you have the numbers, when they're not having that local government elections, you have a capacity, a critical mass of new followers who can begin to...
Would they listen to you without...
Yes, ma'am.
When they say you either enter APC or PDP,
yes.
Why should that be my only choice? Well, let me finish. Yes. Why should it be my only choice? Because I don't like the ideology. The ideology, I've had the ideology for the last 20 years.
They don't have.
And nothing has happened. Not even, is it 24 years now?
They don't have.
Nothing has happened. Now you're telling me I should carry my integrity and go and join them. And do what's there now? Okay. Buy me too, because let me tell you, there are different sales. They are the illiterate people that you are doing something like that will collect 5,000. They are the ones that collect millions.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
They are even more deadly than the ones that collect 5,000. Because they are the ones that sell us.
Yes. Okay, let me
cockroach.
Madam, let me engage you this way. We can leave it as it is. And we will have...
Let's form another party.
Hold on a second. And we'll have 20 conversations in 20 years' time, and it will resemble exactly the same thing we're talking about now.
Wow.
But if we must have a paradigm shift, we must be the ones that will set about the agent of the leapfrogging. Let me repeat. If we must have a paradigm shift, we must be the one that will set about the agent of leapfrogging. I get what you're saying. I am there. And I am saying to you, with every sense of responsibility, you cannot have a country with a voter map. What I mean by voter map is total number of registered votes nearing 70 million.
And the person that
and you will be winning the presidency with about 15. It therefore says that a critical number have not been bought because they are not even participating.
Yes.
It means that a critical number have not even taken up the civic responsibility of the opportunity that democracy provides because of all the systems of government that humankind has invented for itself. The only one that allows the people to have a minimal say is democracy. In monarchy, it's transferred by heredity. In the other one is a dictatorship. In the military, you need to do coups and other. And yet, you have 15 million installing the president. Can't we chase the 30, 40 million that are not interested? And for us to chase them, I have also said we have two options. We can go into the new party, parties existing, and when we go into the parties, I'm not telling us to go there as their cheerleader. For instance, we can go there and at the point of conversation, we can do a negotiation of how many percentage of these things they're giving to young people. That's an easy route. The other one is that we can, please, how much money do you think you need to an election? If you have about 70 million people, maybe a little less, 50 million people that are interested, if we just crowdfund it for ourselves, if we can install the corporate governance template that we claim we want to put in government, even for the political process, why would it be a hopeless case? Our issue is that they want 1 year to come, but they don't want to come with the remaining 3. So they can just take Yenny in and just keep out there, make him smoke. I'm just telling you. And then when they're getting tired of Yenny, they want Morala to come. But if all 3 of you or all 4 of you were to appear the same day, haven't agreed with yourselves that gents or ladies were going for a collegiate season of power, then how are they going to buy you? It's almost similar to how military officers plan coups. They'll gather themselves. One set is in charge, another set says, no, things are not going well. They will agree with themselves, they will conspire, and they will seize power. It's not going to be served à la carte.
It's important that this, what you're saying, sinks in. Because we want people to understand.
Thank you.
Because that data is there. Because remember when this Trump wanted to come, every prediction was wrong. Yeah. Because they don't have a clue. We have to find that docile vote that nobody was looking at. So there's a huge capacity that we have that we're not even looking at all. Yeah. And that's what you highlighted for us.
Exactly.
And I believe that. Wait, hold on.
But Trump lost the popular
I believe that.
That's their own collegiate system.
I believe that the youth have enough power. Look at what happened during the EndSARS. They were able to gather funds. They were able to contribute. Like something will happen where they were, stationed during the protest, and they will gather funds and help somebody. We actually have the resources. We actually have the money. We know how to bring ourselves together. The only problem is we do not have interest in doing the right things. Because we see, when we watch BBN, we see this one, a fan bought me, they gathered money, they create WhatsApp groups, they buy houses for people that don't mean anything to you.
So it therefore means that our major challenge now is that we need to move young people from advocating and sensitization and we no go agree. We need to move them into a call to action. And it is to achieve that call to action that I'm laying it bare on the table that they may run with it. Look, Buhari won with 15 million plus votes. Do you know how small that is in there? Okay, the number they allocated to maybe about
just a few universities.
Article of my candidate, they allocated about 12 million. We have our issues, but let's just leave it at that. So 12 plus 15, maybe 27. And the total voter number is 80 or 70 million. So it means that if we can just
the other 50 were disillusioned with the two candidates.
Now I'm telling you, my dear sister, they were why didn't they back Eli if they were that disillusioned? Why didn't they back Mogalu if they were that disillusioned? Why didn't they're not? Look, my sister, you come from a history of advocates. Your grandmother, your dad, everybody. We are Egbas. We are not the kind of people that say this challenge is too. How will I not be? My name is Sowunmi. We're from the same market. How would you? We are not the kind of people that look at things in the eyes and tell them and say it can't be done. We have to be dead.
Yeah, so that's why we are doing our own parts.
But what I'm trying to say to you, my sister,
from emotions to data, to action.
Let us take the line of least resistance. There will always be something better than the other. Will always be able...
Let Tokwe jump in. Hold on for a minute.
Jump in.
Yes, I wanted to...
You need like 2 hours for us to engage this topic.
We had this conversation years back, and I feel bad because it seemed like you prophesied that in 20 years' time, if we don't get our acts together, we'll have the same conversation. If you remember, Murayo, when we had Toyosi Akerele, what she said every human, every educated person must be the dawn of her location or his location and be able to canvass 5-10 votes that will be loyal to you. It takes taking ownership of, I have 10 people, I have 100 people.
We're all guilty.
At any point, I can call those 100. She said it about 5 years ago. It is still true till today.
We're back.
So I hear you, I understand. We all need to take responsibility for the 5 we can control. The 5 that we can run, unfortunately.
Can I tell you how you look at your 5 very easily? Your mom, your sister, maybe your housemate. If you have a husband, your husband. You have more than 10. Imagine each of us doing 10.
We do.
And we have the largest youth population, perhaps now.
Yeah. I said the 50 million is...
all your neighbors that you buy
what we must call youth in Nigeria has to be young at heart. Why? Because a generation has been holding forth for close to 60 years.
So when you call the Shewore, Fela, all of them were not youth.
We got to be the youth now. But I say what? On a very serious note.
You have to run.
Let us not insist that everybody who says he wants to be president, we're not going to give them a chance only to pin them with the tar of... Look, a young man is out there now jumping around saying people are calling him. You guys can engage him.
They're not calling him. Who is calling him?
Don't worry. You can engage him. You can drag him. You can try to understand. You can empathize. You can do so much to see whether that's the type of youth we need, or maybe we need another.
Unfortunately, we have to
you need to come back.
He says, for the first time, I listened to Uncle Segun Sowunmi, and I am moved. He's making a lot of sense in politics.
You don't have a lot of fans.
You don't have a lot of fans. I tell you what the problem is. Because for the first time, I'm not discussing the APC. And so the youths that were purchased by APC are always very angry when I really speak truth to power. And I tell you what, I am one of those people who is so patriotic. My ultimate objective is let Nigeria just be a great nation.
Just like everybody.
Because we have the capacity
to run.
to
Unfortunately, that's all we can take.